Katie?
What did it take to produce Silo? I mean, Phil was in pre-production for about a year before the production. I was in pre-production about 2.5 months prior, and then I flew out about a month prior, and we started getting stuff rolling, and the closer we got, the more intense it became.
My goal was to make a calling card piece, I think, for myself as a director, and I think that's kind of initially maybe how it started. I mean, maybe that was in the back of my mind, but I think what I really just want to do was make a really wonderful movie as much as I could.
And Marcus. Action!
I mean, there were so many facets to the pre-production process. I was doing so many things. Probably most of that 4-month pre-production was spent with just Joey Damaraki and myself getting together. We'd have some food and we would just watch films and we would just grab things that we felt we could do. We knew that because of the budgetary restrictions, we had to shoot tight. He just kept saying that, let's shoot tight. So I think the visual style grew out of just the restrictions of the budget. But I think that's part of the thing that makes the film wonderful.
You know, I had to make the decision, and it was a tough one, because we were just so low on money. It was so tight. My wife and I bridged the gap financially to make stuff happen. But once you've done it, when you're in it, you realize more of what you need. There were just so many variables. In addition to being a producer, I also had to wear the hat of unit production manager, which is somebody who coordinates all of the logistics and makes all of the deals with every vendor. Now that's a huge task that I was going to hire somebody for. But as we were moving into production, we realized that this project was becoming bigger than originally anticipated, and so I needed to do it. The financial resources just weren't there. That was a huge, huge task, and it was really tough because we shot in LA for 6 straight days from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. through the night. But the business that I had to conduct, not only did I have to be awake during the filming hours because I was the producer and the unit production manager, but also I had to take care of business during the business day, like with vendors. So I didn't get a whole lot of sleep. Like I averaged about 3 hours a night throughout the LA portion of the shoot. One of the shots that we got was an overhead shot of Ernie Hudson doing a very intense scene by himself, where he was basically breaking down. And I happened to have been the boom operator because we didn't have a boom op. And I was alone with him in the silo while he was breaking down in the movie. And I was very nervous. I had no idea that he was going to release this intense amount of emotion.
And it was pretty frightening, actually, to be in there. And after Phil called cut, he was still there. And it was like the energy that he had gone to a very dark place, and it was apparent. And we just did one take and called it when the gate was clean and moved on.
It was just a really cool time. What was frustrating, however, is that Ernie is a really intelligent, thoughtful, charismatic guy. And I really enjoy his company. And every time we started to have a conversation, I just had to go. I was just busy. It was like ridiculous. I was like being pulled in so many different directions.
People would be like, where's Steve? You know, like he was never kind of on set. He was on set, but mostly always continuing to like plan for the next day. And I was like, he's the guy that you don't see. He's like in the train. He's the guy who's like shoveling the damn coals into the thing to keep the train moving forward. You know, that's why you don't see him, you know.
Phil and I took our own abilities and skills to a whole nother level. I mean, we really were going into almost uncharted territory for us on many levels with the film. I mean, definitely from the producing. We had never produced anything on this scale.
There were some good, challenging moments, no question, with Steve and I. I mean, the best compliment I can pay to Steve is that I was having so much fun directing the film is only because he produced the film so well. And I know that he didn't sleep a lot and he was in over his head.
This shit has to be done well. And we're gonna get all our shots, but we just need to get the camera cart on the train right now because it's downstairs and they've got a long way to walk and this train will not wait. We've got 30 minutes exactly. That's what's going on.
And my writer was fantastic, and he was on the set. He did not have to be there, and we weren't paying him to be there, but he was there, and We had to rewrite stuff because location changes, or maybe we would get into a space and it wasn't working. That's not easy to do when you're like locked into a script in a particular, time frame and the sort of money at the moment or whatever. My DP, because of him, we had an amazing crew that made the film look good, made me look good, and I think Ernie and everybody.
Okay.
There was a spirit on the set that you need to bring your A game or don't come, period. And that's the way it was. Phil, myself, Joey Damaraki, Christopher Ellis, and the core group of people, including Ernie Hudson, all contributed their time and resources and efforts to take their career to a whole nother level, especially for the core group of people, Chris Ellis, Phil Donlin, myself, and Joey Damaraki. It was insane what we did. But we did it because we really were very committed to do the best possible film that we set out to do. So that's just a little bit of, what it took to produce the film.